Oh, let me be honest with you. I am excited to be here tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I am amped. I'm ready. I've been looking forward to this forever. Look, I'm dressed nice. I got my Argyle song. They made their return. Need more slack. So Jake and old Mr. Ironwood, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be with Mr. Ironwood and all this kind of stuff. You know, this isn't my first time in show business. No, not at all. I've featured many films and acts in the biz, as we like to call it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you may have seen some of my finer pieces of work. I actually did some stunt double work in Hollywood. Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the movie A Bug's Life? Right. Do you remember that character, Slim, the stick bug? I did all of his stuff. Or, have you guys seen Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah, if you recall a character, Mike TV, there's a part of the movie near the end where he gets stretched out. He gets stretched out, right? You see the resemblance? Oh, and my most favorite movie that I was in was a little, small-time independent film called Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Yeah? I actually had a full-length role in that. I played the part of Treebeard. Come, little hobbits. It's time to go to Isengard. Treebeard. I took out all of Isengard myself. So, on a more serious note, what I really came up here to talk about was, ever since I was a young lad, like 5 feet shorter. Ever since a young age, I've always realized, as time goes on, I get progressively older. And as I got older, I realized everyone gets older. And even after that, I realized that everyone has to grow up. Except for the odd case of Michael Jackson. Too soon? So anyway, the reason why this is bothering me is because, as you know, I'm a senior at Ironwood High School. How many seniors have we got in the audience? That's a low, Grandma. Put your hand down. I didn't. She's so adorable. Anyway, as a senior, it's really been on my mind that in 8 weeks I have to leave high school and start growing up. And no freedom. I have to face the big world on my own. Anyway, and it's scary. Growing up and realizing that you're getting older and your dreams are kind of starting to peter out and not everything is the way you wanted it to be. Like the day that I realized that my dreams weren't going to be as hopeful as I thought was the day I realized I was never, ever, ever going to get my acceptance letter to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft. Don't laugh. That was the hardest day of my life. For any kid, when you realize that there's no possibility of shooting spells out of a rickety old stick, you realize that your life is what? I don't know, a cubicle job? Another thing that bothered me is when I was young, I cared about one thing, and only one thing. This is like age 6. I cared about catching them all. That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. I wanted to be a Pokemon master. I wanted to ride fire-breathing Charizards. Surf on turtles with cannons on their backs. That was going to be me. I wanted to do that. But then you get older, and then you start seeing things how they really are. And you gotta think, what would Pokemon be like if it was in the real world? Think about that. Let me ask you a question. What kind of sorry parent lets their 10-year-old son just waltz out of the house and play with electric rats? I'm not even kidding. When I have kids, rule number 1 in the Gano family is that if it shoots lightning out of its cheeks, don't touch it. Secondly, what was a 10-year-old kid doing doing hanging out with some strange 18-year-old man with a giant rocky snake named Onyx? Rule number 2 in the Gano household. If you meet an 18-year-old man with a 2-ton snake, don't hang out with him. Simple logic, I mean, really. So I might be leading you down the wrong path. Growing up isn't all that. I have to keep on adjusting this. I keep on growing. Growing up isn't all that bad, especially if you have such great teachers to help you along the journey, right? You better give them applause. Yeah. What do you do with that? They don't get no respect. That's 2 comedians, and I don't know if you guys got that reference. Anyway, so high school, that's what high school's all about. It's about getting accommodated to the real world, so you're not kind of just thrown in the deep end. So these teachers, they make it easier for us. And when I think about good teachers, one man comes to mind. One man that always encouraged me, always taught me to think twice, 3 times, 5 times, maybe even 6 times. That man may be in this audience right now, I don't know, I can't see him. Mr. Madler. Mr. Madler, what a great man. I remember some days he would sit me down and say, hey Jake, how's it going? So maybe you should, maybe fill out some college applications. Thanks, Mr. Madler. And, maybe we can get that club you've been talking about started, maybe, so I went to India. Oh, I love that guy. He had the best stories. The best part about, well, not the best part, but one of the best parts about having Mr. Madler was I had a dynamic duo for teachers. Mr. Madler was only half the class. I also had a fantastic man who goes by the name of Mr. Mangan. Mr. Mangan always taught me to be careful. He always told me to be cautious because things always reminded him of his dating years. So with his help, I got to learn what it's like to date in the 1800s. Oh, Mr. Mangan, I'm kidding. I hope you're not in the audience. Great. And before that, I got to meet a real manly man. Someone who taught me what it was like to be a man. Someone who was standing right there just a few minutes ago. That's right, I'm talking about Mr. Flanagan. When I came in freshman year, frightened and scared, the first thing he said to me was, hang on 1 second. You a wrestler? Enough said about that. That was more than enough, right? My favorite teacher at Ironwood. I know this is saying a lot to the other teachers, but God, I love this teacher so much. My favorite teacher who has always encouraged people to get up and actually learn something, always make sure everyone's on the same page, is none other than Mama Rob, Mrs. Rob. Anyway, she is so great. I can remember some days going into her class and her being such a good teacher that she realized everyone needed a break. So she would look at us and say, all right, I have a whole lot of work to do today. So you guys just sit back, do whatever, but don't be retarded. All right? Just do whatever. Oh, Mrs. Rob, your insults are what made you so great. Always encourage me. Hello, Myrna. I didn't even see you there until this point. You're looking very nice. I see your dress code appropriate. Now that is a woman who practices what she preaches.